Happy Saturday afternoon, everybody. I'm Matt Josephs, sportsmemo.com. Joining me, the speed crew today, as we always do on the weekends of football season, Dave Koken and Steve Merrill of wagertalk.com. We'll get a quick recap and what to expect from you guys today. So we'll start with you, Dave. How was your day yesterday, and what do we got today?
Well, I didn't do anything yesterday, and I've got 4 college football plays as of now today. One of them is a free play at wagertalk.com right now. The other 3 are best bets, and hopefully it's going to be a good day. Still working on whether to play tonight's NHL Game 5 or not, and also tomorrow's NFL. We'll have that settled probably in the next couple hours.
Steve, how about you?
Yeah, entered yesterday on an 80% run, but did miss the one baseball play I had last night. However, I've got 3 college football best bets ready for Saturday on the afternoon and nighttime cards, so plenty of time to still get all 3 best bets in college football for Saturday at wagertalk.com.
Yeah, I have a 4-pack of college football games for later on tonight, and actually a pair of free plays up there as well on sportsmemo.com. All right, so baseball time here, and we've got a lot of things to discuss here. We'll start things off with both the doubleheaders. We'll just get them out of the way here. Mets and Nationals, for some reason, are playing a doubleheader, although it's crazy. DeGrom and Scherzer's game 1. It's a total of 5 because it's a 7-inning game. Seattle and Oakland have a doubleheader. Seattle is the home team the second game. Oakland's the home team the first game. I'll skip you, Dave. Anything on the 2 doubleheader, Steve?
No, just pretty cool here as we're wrapping up the season to see a total of 5 on a Major League Baseball game. I know Dave and I have been doing this for a long time, and I don't think either one of us has ever seen that on a real, even though it be a 7-inning game, a total of 5, just remarkable times.
Can't recall it.
Yeah. All right, 1:05 Eastern time. So coming up in an hour, the Yankees and the Marlins. You've got Garcia and Rogers on the mound, Dave.
And the Marlins probably in a pretty good mood today because they are in the playoffs. So this game is basically meaningless to them. Garcia's looked pretty good for the Yankees and certainly would rate the edge here. I have, excuse me, not checked the lineups, but I would imagine some Marlins are sitting today.
Steve?
Yeah, Dave touched on it about a week ago when we were doing a show about, the celebration letdown, how it probably won't apply as much this year with these division winners because everything's happening so fast. Everyone's making the playoffs. But this would be that one case, I think, where I could see a little bit of a letdown. So I'd be careful with the Marlins here. That's a team that wasn't necessarily expecting to make the playoffs, even with the expanded field this year.
Yes, I'll give you the lineup real quick for the Marlins. Sierra, Birdie, Cooper, Joyce, Brinson, Alfaro, Chisholm, Harrison, Rojas.
No, I got a few regulars in there. Okay.
A few of them, and then it looks like a lot of the Yankees regulars are still in there, so that's the lineup for the 1:05 game coming up. You've got the Orioles and the Blue Jays, Means, who's pitched a little bit better as of late against Shoemaker.
Yeah, and the game means nothing to the Blue Jays, obviously. They're in the playoffs. Means has pitched better lately, so I think it's reflected in the price, too. It's pretty cheap.
Steve?
Yeah, I was going to say Toronto's kind of the other team, like Miami, that could have a little bit of a celebration letdown. You see pictures on Twitter of them celebrating and whatnot. So even though we said that that angle might not apply as much this year, I feel like Miami and Toronto are 2 teams I'd be careful with today.
Phillies and Rays. The Phillies pretty much eliminated. They need a couple things to go right. Wheeler's on the mound for them. Curtis, who closed the game out last night, is at least the starting pitcher for today's game for the Rays.
Yeah, I would suspect he's not going to end up starting. So I don't know what to tell you about that. I imagine the bettors will get on Wheeler here because the Phillies still have a mathematical chance to get in, but it's highly unlikely, and it's priced that way. The odds makers are basically saying, go ahead, you want to bet the Phillies? Take them.
Yeah, they're 1-5 their last 6, so they've played their way out of contention, basically. However, the offense isn't that bad. They've had 32 hits those last 3 games. They've had 23 runs. And then you look at the Rays, have been offensively challenged all year. 14 runs, 20 hits their last 2 games, so that total of 8 might be a little low.
You would have made a lot of money if, once again, the Phillies are winning games and then losing games late, playing them late a live line. That would have hit once again because the Phillies bullpen is the worst. Houston, a bullpen game against Texas. Kyle Gibson. Gibson had that really good start against the Astros last time out, though.
He did, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has another one today. I would suspect that Houston will sit some regulars in this game. They put DeJong in to start. I would look at the under in the game.
Yeah, I mean, the Texas Rangers, it's been over 10 games now since they've had double-digit hits in a game, so that offense is not good. I see nothing changing there. I actually took a shot with Houston as a free play on the run line last night on Wager Talk. They lost the game outright, so hard to get a feel for this Houston Astro team right now.
But they clinched anyway because the Angels lost.
Good point, yeah.
Royals and Tigers, Boyd and Hernandez pitching matchup here, Dave.
Just playing out the schedule. See you later. Next.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I kind of feel like when these teams are playing out the schedule, maybe the overs are worth a look a little bit. Kansas City has put up 23 runs on 32 hits their last 3 games. Once again, they're in better current form, 3 wins. Tigers 5 straight losses. I guess the Royals are probably the only team you can trust here.
Yeah, put Whit Merrifield in your DFS lineups. He's been very kind to us as of late. Musgrove and Savali. Savali, though, going to be in the bullpen for the playoffs for the Indians, so they don't know how long he's going to be on a pitch count today, Steve.
Yeah, as you know, I mean, the Reds you mentioned a month or so ago is a play-on team. The Indians have been my play-on team. They looked really bad during that 8-game slide, but they have now quietly won 6 straight, 8 of their last 9. So I like the momentum heading to the postseason, and I still like that pitching staff in a short series coming up.
Interesting note, though, the money's coming in on the Pittsburgh side. This number's dropped way down. So we'll have to wait and see what the lineups look like. I mean, the Indians, I guess, could still win the division. It's kind of complicated in the AL Central. Minnesota's still ahead. Indians and the White Sox are right there. It would seem to be a more important game for the Indians, but to be honest with you, I have not. I'm a little mystified why a 30-cent drop, and I need to look and see why.
I may have broken Jose Ramirez yesterday as they took the over in the total bases, and he had no hits yesterday, so that was fun. Could be a first 5 under here in Cleveland. Boston and Atlanta, Dave. Houck has been very impressive against Davidson.
Yes, and Atlanta wrapped up the number 2 seed last night, so they have no reason to particularly play this game, and it's again reflected in the price. The Braves, obviously the much better baseball team, and they're only $1.40 favorite.
Yeah, and we've got to mention the Pirates have won 3 out of 4. They swept the Cubs 3 games straight, and then the Red Sox have won 3 out of 5, although they are back-to-back losses. So I guess what you want to look for with these ugly ducklings is are they still playing hard? And it appears that at least for now, Pittsburgh and Boston are making an effort still.
Cubs and White Sox. Lester going up against the lefty-mashing White Sox. Dane Dunning on the mound for the home team. Dave?
Yeah, and that's about what it looks like here. And the White Sox are probably a little ticked off about yesterday anyway. So I would look White Sox here, but the line's pretty high.
It's hard to know what to make of this Cubs. As I mentioned, they lose 3 straight to Pittsburgh. They win that first game 5-0, so they weren't technically swept, I said, but they lost 3 straight the last 3. But then they get back on track with a 10-0 win over the White Sox yesterday. 2 teams that have kind of clinched the divisions, basically. White Sox, those 6 straight losses, tough to trust them right now.
Castillo and Pineda, good pitching matchup in Minnesota, Dave.
It is, and the Reds clinched their playoff spot last night, so they are in. Minnesota still has more to play for, but it's not like Castillo's going to go out there and just mail it in. However, I don't know how long he's going to pitch either. This could be a shorter than usual stint for Castillo. Has been brilliant for the Reds down the stretch. Pineda's pitched well for the Twins as well. I would look at the Twins here, but I don't think I'm going to.
Matt, I mentioned the Reds as you're a little bit of a sleeper a couple months ago, and I'm on board with that pitching staff in the postseason. That offense is definitely not going to get it done. This team has gone 10-2 their last 12. They're 11 straight games now. They've had 9 hits. In fact, they had 8 hits or less in 10 straight games until last night. They got 9 hits. So this is pitching only. They're definitely correlated to the under recently.
Pineda could be worth a look on the strikeouts, too, if that inconsistent Reds lineup shows up. Another guy who strikes out a bunch of guys, Woodruff, on the road against Wainwright there, Dave.
Yeah, but look, it's way bigger to St. Louis. I don't know why Milwaukee's getting the money in this game, to be honest with you. Wainwright's been really solid. They're the better baseball team, and they still need, they're probably going to make it, but they still need a win. One win, I believe, wraps it up for the Cardinals, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong on that. San Francisco's only a game behind them, but I would look at Cardinals first here.
Yeah, where it gets tricky, Dave, is the Cardinals have 4 games remaining. Milwaukee,
right.
San Francisco, Chicago, they all have 2 games remaining. So I don't know what they're going to sneak those makeup games in, only if they're necessary. But, yeah, the Cardinals are a game or 2 up right now. They control their own destiny. But Milwaukee, despite being 2 games under 500, just a game behind the wild card still. So I guess you could say it's important for both. But, yeah, the St. Louis with all those mixed games is going to be an interesting situation the next few days.
Crazy to think the Cardinals and the Marlins had all those COVID issues, and they're potentially both going to make the playoffs. That's pretty wild. Rockies and Diamondbacks, another game playing out the string, Marquez and Weaver.
Marquez is pitching really well down the stretch, so I would look at Colorado here if we're going to get involved in this game.
Yeah, I think that's reflected in the price here. Obviously Arizona's a pretty hitter-friendly park in general, and the D-backs are hitting the ball well. They've put up 7 runs or more in 3 of their last 4. They've had 11 hits or more in those 3 games. So 9, a pretty reasonable total here for the over.
Battle of L.A., Dylan Bundy against Tony Gonsolin there, Dave.
And Bundy has not been real sharp down the stretch. He's just having some command issues, and even the backup Dodgers, if they're playing might be able to get to him. The price is going to keep me out of it, but I think the Dodgers win.
Steve? Steve might have been frozen. Yes, he is. So we'll go with our final game here. Padres and Giants. Looks like undecided for the Padres, Cueto for the Giants.
Cueto was not good on Monday for the Giants. Needs to pitch better here. Costly loss in the second game of that doubleheader for the Giants yesterday. Really costly loss. They're going to have to win out. And I don't know that it's going to be that easy. Padres, by the way, didn't have a great day yesterday. Clevenger looks like he's done. Lamet left early. I don't know what the situation with him is. One of the position players whose name is escaping me right now got dinged up in the game. It was Myers. It was not a good day for the Padres from a health standpoint.
So, as before we go, Dave, big picture here. Do we just basically go as many 5 innings potentially because we don't know how long some of these starters are going to go?
I would say so. In the bigger in the games where teams that are clinched are sending somebody out there, like for instance Castillo for the Reds, I don't see why the Reds would let him throw 100 pitches. It makes no sense. So you would think that if to me I'd be looking the other way because you might have an advantage in the last 4 innings with a bullpen guy being in for Cincinnati, for instance, against what still might be Pineda for the Twins. But it's the crapshoot that exists on the last weekend of the regular season. I personally am probably going to take the entire day off in baseball. I'm waiting for the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, let's just get your thoughts real quick, and then we'll end things on the Giants and the Padres. We do not know who's starting yet for San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, once again, as Dave said, these last couple of days, the last week in general, are really dicey, and I think you always have to err on the side that you're going to see weaker pitchers. You're going to see a lot of the offensive guys that can still hit the ball. They'll treat it as batting practice. And if you look at San Francisco, they've gone over their last 2 games here with small totals, obviously, in that doubleheader yesterday against San Diego. Padres are always good for a good over with that offense and that home run potential. So once again, the over would make sense in this one.
All right, so as we talked about in the beginning, you'll find all the picks at wagertalk.com with Dave Koken and Steve Merrill. I am on sportsmemo.com. The 12 o'clock games have kicked off, and we'll be back tomorrow for the final regular season show of First Pitch with the same crew. We appreciate everybody for joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow at noon here on the YouTube Wager Talk channel.